Liam Wright, the skipper. I think this probably caught, we didn't pod last week when the news broke, I think it was Tuesday night, that Liam Wright was the captaincy. I think, look, even if going further, if you put that team down on paper at the start of the year to start with, and suggested that would be the Wallabies starting 15 for the first test of the year, to be laughed out of town, then to make Liam Wright captain. But the more I thought about this after the announcement, the more it made sense to me, because you look at Liam Wright's journey over the past few years in particular, and he's had a horror run with injury. We know Australia had trouble with injuries across the board, but I mean, there's a couple of shoulders in there. There was coming down from a line out, as he mentioned, just in training and landing awkwardly, a bit of syndesmosis, and then I think a broken hand as well. Just, absolutely horror run you wouldn't wish on anyone, and had to pick himself up off the canvas each time, and not unlike the Wallabies had to do at the end of last year. Now, we know this is a different group, so to me it even if it was only for last week, who knows? Because we know there's 8 and 6 with obviously Harry Wilson making his return via Club Rugby on the weekend. You've got Tom Hooper there, Rob Leota injured at the moment, so there are options there to I guess, for a different kind of 6 to what Liam Wright is. But he did exactly what you expect from him the other night, didn't he? He carried well, and what I like about him, he has got this ability to split defenders. He doesn't run at defenders. He can just get either side. His line-out work was first rate.
He's a smart footy player, isn't he?
He's not flashy, but he's smart. And you know what, it kind of felt the more I thought about it through the back end of last week, I thought, you know what, this kind of makes a lot of sense to me. Now, whether we see it for this week, for Georgia the week after, who knows, Rugby Championship, probably all bets are off. But you've got to think now that he is a guy that you're going to want in the squad, at least in some capacity, throughout the remainder of the year.
Yeah, and I was asked about a month ago, who do you think the backup 7 is at the moment? Because it was established and thought that Fraser McReight is the out-and-out 7, and from a Super Rugby perspective, Fraser McReight is outstanding. Yep. I think the jury is still out about what he's like as a starting 7. I think he's got great ability in that 23 to be able to provide something off the bench at times too, but we haven't seen him really own a test match yet. And if anything was to happen to Fraser, and I'd be giving him this entire July as well to make that 7 jersey his own, but I actually think that Liam Wright is more suited to the open side flanker role, okay. And I still think that's the case, despite the fact that he showed that he can play blindside as well. I think his height's obviously a benefit. That's why he's in the side at the moment as the line-out caller as well. But ability to get on the ball, work rate as well. I think Jeremy Williams could also be suited to that blindside role. And whilst he started in the second row on the weekend, I think Williams is more suited to blindside flanker from a test perspective. I know that they've thought about that themselves as well. So, yeah, the formation and the balance will be the really interesting thing. Charlie Cahill, another guy that can play 6 or 8, came on, made a really positive contribution, so explosive, so dynamic. Probably things that Liam Wright might not be, but you've got to say, first up to Liam, that's a real tick. It's a feather in his cap, and yeah, he'll definitely be part of this squad. And